and thank you for joining us again for another discussion on Facebook. Today's topic is senior living, nothing to be scared about. Um, there are certain things that I hear over and over again from people that come to the Park Danforth for tours. There are certain concerns that are consistent and a little frightening to people, though that might be a strong word. But I thought I'd cover them just in a brief discussion. Um, and so let's start. First of all, one big thing that I hear about over and over again is what do I do with all my stuff? How do I downsize? I've been living in the same home for 20, 30, 40 years, and I have a lot of stuff. And how do I move into a one-bedroom apartment with limited storage? Well, downsizing is a task, but it certainly is not something that can't happen. There are certain philosophies about how to downsize, and we've all seen um, things on social media about going through your items and holding an item and deciding whether that item brings you joy. And if it doesn't, then you either donate it or pass it on somehow. That's one way, and that's a great way. But basically, what you're looking to do is get rid of some of your stuff. So go through what you have, decide if it should be donated, if it's still useful and somebody could use it. You can donate it to somebody less fortunate than you that can use it. If it's not worth keeping for you or for anyone, then you can obviously hit the trash with it. And if you have the time and the wherewithal and maybe the support from your family, have a yard sale and sell what you can and get rid of it that way. Also, I know that before my parents passed away, they were marking all the items for different children and different friends and what they were leaving people. And now might be the time to distribute some of those items that you were holding on to, family heirlooms. If you're going to give them to your son or your daughter or your nephew or niece, maybe now is the time to do that. Now that you're thinking of moving to a senior living community and you have less space, and you'll be able to see the joy that your items bring to family members once you give them to them. So that's one concern is downsizing. Another concern, obviously, is finances. What I suggest in regards to finances is to make a list of everything you spend money on now living in your private home or your private apartment. What do you spend on your mortgage? What do you spend on your rent? What do you spend on your insurance? What do you spend on all the maintenance? And make sure that if you have an upcoming big project, such as a new roof or painting the house, anything within the next 5 to 10 years that you see is going to need to be done, throw that in your list of expenses coming up. Also, what do you spend on fuel? What do you for your heat? What do you spend on your electric monthly? What do you spend on your car? Gas for your car, insurance for your car. Maybe you still have a car payment. Potentially, you won't be paying for utilities at a senior living community. And if you choose to, you don't really need a car because most senior living communities have transportation to stores and recreational events, social events. You don't really need a car once you move in, but if you want to maintain that, that's fine. But that is an expense currently that if you move into a senior living community, you may not have. So once you've compiled all of your expenses, and one thing I did forget to mention is look at the amount of expense that you spend on entertainment, going out to dinner, going out to movies, um, uh, those types of things add up. If you're in a senior living community, you may be doing a little bit less of those things outside of the community because here at the Park Danforth, for example, we have a theater, we have an auditorium, we have, especially when COVID is not in the picture, we have social gatherings and life enrichment programs. And you may find that you spend more time at your new home in a senior living community than you do currently out and spending money. So add all those things up together and then look at what you're going to be spending in your new senior living community. And you may be surprised at how close they are, or even you may be saving money by moving into a senior living community. Uh, and keep in mind, even if your senior living community ends up being slightly more expensive than you spend right now, uh, what's the value to you? What's the price tag on a maintenance-free life where you don't have to worry about upkeeping the house and the yard, and when the snow flies, you don't have to worry about shoveling? Um, all those worries go away. And what's the value on that to you? Keep that in mind when you're looking at the affordability of senior living. Now, another thing that can be on people's mind when they think about moving to a senior living community is the move itself. That can be a momentous challenge to some people, but if you can afford it, or if you don't have the family or friends to help you move, I highly suggest that you consider a professional mover. So much of what you may worry about if you're moving yourself will go away if you hire a professional mover. Of course, there's a cost to it, but once again, what's the value of not having those worries and the task of actually moving yourself? Depending upon what package you sign up for with a professional mover, you could be not involved in even packing up. They do the packing for you, they do the moving for you, and they can even do the unpacking for you if you choose to pay for that. So many worries will go away if you, excuse me, hire a professional mover. Um, Check in with the community that you're considering moving to. They certainly will have suggestions for movers that they've had great success with, other people moving to their community. Another concern that I have heard is falls under the heading of a change in lifestyle or family and friends. There are people that believe once you move into a senior community, you won't be able to associate with the same friends. You won't be able to attend the classes or do the volunteering or even maintain your part-time job that you may have or a full-time job. There's no reason why any of those things should change uh, because you move into a senior living community. We do have individuals here at the Park Danforth that still maintain a job. They still volunteer in the community. They still go to senior college classes. None of that needs to go away. Think of moving to a senior community as any other opportunity you've had to rent a place to live. Um, any of the things you do outside of that, it's completely up to you. You can maintain your car, you can go to those classes, you can continue to volunteer. None of that needs to change. In fact, moving to a senior living community will increase the amount of time you have to do those kinds of things and to maintain friendships and spend time with family because you're not having to deal with home maintenance and other things that tend to take your time when you're living in a private home. So let's see, we've covered downsizing, we've covered the move, we've covered affordability, and we've covered any concerns regarding change in lifestyle or relationships with families and friends. So maybe senior living now isn't as scary as you thought of it at one point before we had this conversation. I want to thank you for tuning in today and joining us for another Facebook Live. If you'd like more general information, please consult our website. We have a decision guide that's general information about senior living. And of course, if you'd like more information about Park Danforth, visit www.parkdanforth.com. You can even take a virtual tour of an apartment just by going to our website. You also have the opportunity to contact us through the website to set up an appointment because we are actually giving tours currently. So if you'd like to come and see the Park Danforth, please contact us through www.parkdanforth.com. And thanks again. Have a great day.